Hello, welcome to the boat shop. Today is the 8th, I believe it is. 8th of May. And what I've been working on here, I decided to make an attempt to make my through-hull penetrations for my exhaust ports out of fiberglass. And so what I'm doing here is basically just laying up a flat piece of thick fiberglass that I'll cut off and then round, and then cut a hole in it for the pipe to come through. So we'll see how this works. But this is some 1/4-inch steel plate. Then I had some weight sitting on it just to give it some compression. Most things that we're working on a boat, or at least this type of boat, doesn't need to be extremely lightweight. So weight isn't really a concern, but in this case, so a lot of times when I'm doing things out of fiberglass, I'm not worried about their weight, so I'm not trying to get absolute compression of the fiberglass to get the lightest, strongest piece possible. But in this case, we want it fairly thin, and we want it as strong as possible, because this would be a flange mounted up against the outside of the boat, and then of course the hole gets drilled for the pipe to go through it, then we'll make it round in the first place. But yeah, this is the second layup I did on this one. The first one, and I made some notes here, a piece of scrap wood. I did 6 layers of 10-ounce cloth and 3 layers of 1708, and I mixed 11 ounces epoxy. And then for the second layer, I was at, oh gosh, what was it, 0.2 inches, basically, thickness. And now this one, I added 3 more layers of 10-ounce and 2 more layers of 1708. And this should result in something slightly thicker than 1/4 of an inch. And the reason we're going to try this out of fiberglass, again, I could not come up with stainless steel to do this. I really wanted to do this out of 3/16 stainless. But what I want to do is put tail pieces on here then, and I want them to be long enough that I can reach in there between the bulkhead and the fuel tank and get flexible exhaust hose on there. So this will need to be 16, 18 inches long, whatever the case is, coming up. So we'll need a tube coming in. And, kind of ironically, looking at the sides of the boat, that they're angled slightly with that exhaust port. And we really do want that cross pipe to be straight or horizontal, not at an angle. So I would, ironically, then it's going to be about 8 degrees. That slope on the side of the boat's about 8 degrees, which is exactly what those Buck Algonquin fittings were 8 degrees. So, but yeah, if I get these made out of fiberglass, the pipe would come out of there at about an 8-degree angle to match that on the side of the hull at that point. But let me do a real quick test here. See how thick, see what we're at. I think we're going to be completely adequate. I don't know if you can see that. Adequate thickness wise here. And yeah, we're at a little over 3/10 of an inch, about 3.18 inches. Yeah. Yeah, pretty tough stuff. So, yeah, that should work. That should work. And I think what I'm going to have to do is what I was worried about using fiberglass for this was drill a hole in here, a 3.5-inch hole for the pipe to fit into, and then just somehow gluing it to the pipe this flange piece to the pipe. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill the actual hole in the boat to 4 inches, so I can make this, put the 3.5 inch pipe in, and then add an extra 1/4 inch around it for gluing surface. And then I can bring a little out from the surface of this, and that'll strengthen that joint. That was my concern with using fiberglass here, and that was kind of why I wanted to use stainless steel there for strength. But this should be really nice and strong, and yeah, it should work all right. I don't see any reason why this won't work. So that's what we're going to go with. In other work this week, I got 2 pieces ready to go here. They are finished. They've been coated and fiberglassed, and their last coat of epoxy is on. Those will go on tomorrow. We got 1 more day of curing to do, and then they'll go up on the boat. And that small piece goes in here, and the big piece goes on the very bow of the boat. It'll go up in here, from here forward. And you can see I got this all smoothed and coated, and got my little guides to hold it up there while I'm putting it in place up there. And that'll of course get glued in. And this piece here you haven't seen yet. This is the last piece I put in here, and this is really solidly epoxied to both the stem and the planking here. So yeah, we got things looking good there, and we're starting now moving backwards from the bow with this raised shear portion. So however long it takes me to get this raised shear portion done, and then I'll probably continue working on these down here at the same time, depending on how much time and energy I have. But yeah, that way we can get this whole side more or less done at the same time. Then all we'll have left is the very bottom, the bottom planking to do. So I guess that's about all I've been up to this past week, other than doing other work not boat related. And it's been pouring rain here the last week or so. Well, we've been getting quite a bit of rain this spring, just in general, but yeah, so that's giving me some issues too. But yeah, a little extra rain is better than no rain, which is what we've had for about the last 4 or 5 years. It's been really dry here, so I shouldn't complain. But yeah, but we're doing well. So I'll leave it at that for today.